Welcome, Internet, to the Foolish Tech Show. Today we got some features and details and general overview on PC Repair Tracker. It's a ticketing system, right?
That's part of it.
Part of it.
It's a computer repair service management software built by a small computer shop for small computer shops. I can master the English language.
That was a much better read off than what I was about to be able to explain about that. So,
Pulled it right off the website.
Yeah. So it goes through and allows you to manage your entire PC repair business from the software, and Proctor's going to go over some details and points about it, and also we'll talk a little bit about how you can integrate D7.2 with it, because that is one of the management softwares that Nick has worked with the developer on to integrate with D7.2 as far as reports and things of those natures go. And for anyone watching for tomorrow, we're going to have a two-part series, I think. The first part, we're going to go over setting up DDWRT on a Linksys WRT54G router. So if you have one of those old ones sitting around and want to put some new life into it. And then the second part we're going to do is purchasing and reviews of new routers to replace if you have an old Linksys WRT54G and it turns out that it's not just the firmware and it needing a reboot, that it is gone bad. And that's actually a series for Tank because he's actually currently in that situation. His current router is a WRT54G, which I want to say it came out back in the Stone Age, maybe. But it's still working for the most part, but Tank's finding himself having to reboot it constantly, and I'm going to get him to try out DDWRT, see if that rejuvenates it and puts some more life into it for him, and then also at the same time go through some of the purchasing options and things for getting a new wireless router and what you should look for and what he can look for as far as being able to go out and purchase one. So that's what we have planned for tomorrow. And otherwise, is that enough filler for you, Proctor? Or are you about?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right, so we'll let Proctor take it over from here.
Well, basically, like I said earlier, PC Repair Tracker is repair service management software for a small computer shop. And having ran a small computer shop myself for dang near 20 years, and knowing a lot of the challenges that brings, this software can really simplify your flow of business in a small or medium-sized computer shop. And what I want to do today is go over some of the features of it. I'm not going to be able to get into the D7 integration today. I just wanted to make you aware of some of the features and of the software and how it can help you in your computer business. First thing I'll go over is how the software works. It has to run from either your own server or a server that you have hosted somewhere. It's not a service that's hosted by a PC Repair Tracker. Some benefits to that would be that you're able to have more access to your data instead of putting that off onto another company or somewhere else. Some of the features, if you can see that I've shared my screen here, this is their website, PCRepairTracker.com. Some of the things you can do are track the repair workflow, and I've got their demo up here. And basically, you can see one of the challenges I've had in the computer business is just knowing what's come in, what's being worked on, what's ready to go. And PC Repair Tracker can take care of all that for you, make it a lot easier for you to see what's going on in your business, and make sure things get done, and make sure you get paid. Here on the left, you'll see you'll be able to see items that are on the workbench where work is in progress. You have a box of things that are waiting. They've been taken in, but you're waiting for a tech to start working on them on the bench, and then you have a section of things that are completed and ready for pickup. Sorry, Spiceworks is blowing up my phone. Yeah. Sorry about that. I accidentally answered it. One of the things I wanted to bring up first is if you'd like to take a demo of Luke's software, all you need to do is send him an email. The link is on the website. If you go to PCRepairTracker.com and click on demo, and you can send him an email, and he'll send you very quickly a link so that you can log in and demo the software and start taking a look at it to see if it's something that's going to help and be beneficial to your business. I'm going to take a look at this computer here that's on the workbench and see what's going on with it. All right, you'll see that we have a customer here with an HP Pavilion computer. At the top, we have the customer information, contact information, email addresses, their address. Status of this computer is on the bench. Got a little snippet here about how the customer found out about you. It's word of mouth, which is a very, very important method for small computer shops. Word of mouth is very important. Got our work order ID here. The problem on this computer is no power. It doesn't power on, and apparently looks like they want us to do a virus rogue cleaning and a tune-up.
I love systems that come in like that.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't power on, but I need
power on, but I need a virus too. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the two are connected.
Yeah, you might need a new computer. We've got their password here. That's a common problem I've run into is you have a computer on the bench and heck, you don't have their password, and you call them and they don't answer the phone, and it takes you 3 days to get their password. But a good check-in procedures when you bring it when a computer comes in would be always to get their password, and PC Repair Tracker here keeps track of that password for you. Current status is on the bench. This was opened on October the 30th, 2015. Looks like they've been waiting a long time for their computer. But again, this is the demo. Having access to that information is very important to know when something come in so you can get it out as quickly as possible. We'll look on down a little further. You have the ability to set a priority. Is it high priority? You need to get this thing out as soon as possible. Medium priority, we can sit on it for a little while. Low priority, it's going to collect some dust before we get to it. Also got a drop-down box here where you can select if this person's been contacted yet about their computer, and you can even look up the history of contact between the client about this computer. And further down, we've actually got information about the computer. It's a HP Pavilion. The operating system is Windows 7. Has 2 gigs of RAM. Might be a good opportunity here to upsell them on some RAM once you replace their power supply and get rid of their viruses. One of the cool features of PC Repair Tracker is you can actually take pictures of the system and attach them to the system record. This could be important for a number of reasons. I've had people come in before and swear up and down that that wasn't their computer I was giving them, but it was. Another cool feature that PC Repair Tracker has is the ability to print asset tags for items when they come into your shop, so that you can have your own internal tracking number for that particular device.
Real quick, those are two important parts, and one thing I wanted to mention about this entire setup here is that it gives you a really good structured way to get things in and cover your bases. The thing I like about the pictures and asset tags, and I've never had someone say this isn't my computer.
It was a weird case.
But there have been times where people bring in their power cord. A lot of times people brought in their power cord, and most of the time we would say, oh, we don't need that, we have 2 entire boxes filled of these, so you can take that back home with you. But sometimes it ended up coming through anyway, and then giving them their computer back, we might not get the power cord back because it got lost. 2400 okay, we do have 2400 power cords laying around everywhere, so it's good to know what you're bringing in and be able to give it all back to them at the end. So
that's a very good point, Brantley. And you can add things here other than just the power cord. You could add other additional accessories to the assets that are brought in with the computer.
Yeah, like making sure if they brought in a webcam to test or something like that, you can get all the bits and pieces. But that's one thing that especially smaller shops that are might not have it as well defined. It's good to have a system like this because it lays it out there for you, so you can make sure that you get all of your bases covered.
Yeah, and whether you're a one-man shop or you have a number of technicians, it's always great to keep up track of that information. I mean, when I was just a one-man shop, I could kind of keep it all in my head. Didn't really need to document a whole lot, but then when you expand and you have employees, it gets really difficult if you don't have that information documented properly. And having it in your software is a lot better than just having it written on a work order that might get lost, which happens a lot.
Because this enforces a unity to, like, everything that you're taking in. It's going to be taken in the same way.
Right. Yeah. That uniformity is going to not only make your job easier, but it's also going to be impressive to your customers and let them know that you're a professional establishment.
And if I keep interrupting you, you can just tell me to stop and hold my questions.
No, you're perfect. Everything you said has been right on and helpful. So yeah, go right ahead. Don't hesitate to pop in.
All right, will do.
The lower section, we're able to select things that we have done to this particular computer. Can add the fact that I've done an AVAS scan on this machine, ran CC Cleaner on it. I can notate that the system has a low hard disk space and a number of other different things I can notate on the work order to add notes into the work order. You can manually add things in here to the task description, and it has a timer if you need to time how long you're working on a particular system. Notes to the customer. Let's add one. Right now we have that note saved into the work order for this computer. You can also add notes that only the technician can see and keep that from the customer.
And while those are very helpful to have, and sometimes you may be tempted to put things in that might not be what you would want the customer to ever read, it's always highly recommended that you don't tempt yourself with that, because there are situations where the customer may be standing over your shoulder while you're looking at this. So just that's something always to keep in mind about internal notes. I've seen that in a number of systems, and most of them will recommend that, but it's hard to keep yourself from doing that sometimes. So I guess the point of that is really to try to remain professional at all times, because you never know what the customer is going to read or see, even if it is internal only.
Very true. But some legitimate things you might put in there that you don't want the customer to see might be names of vendors and costs and things like that the customer doesn't need to see, but it's not inappropriate at the same time.
Like that's a good way to put it, is that you put things that they don't need to know, not like internal comments about the customer. Because that's what I've seen a lot of internal notes be used for over the years. Is this person is a blah blah blah, and that's going to be the person that's going to end up seeing that internal note some reason somehow. So
exactly, you don't want any reason to have a disgruntled customer.
Yeah.
You want them coming back in no matter how much they get on your nerves.
Yeah, because their money is just as good.
That's right. All right, we've ran some scans on this system here. We made some notes on it. Now we need to add some charges. Over on the right, there's some quick labor items that are already populated. This is something you'd set up your own pay schedule. This machine here, we're going to put. Let's see here. Got a tune-up and bench fee.
Looks like your screen is locked up if you're doing anything there, Proctor.
Oh, no, I'm... You can add. You can use this section here to add your regular labor items as well as your part items, and there is also a section to add special order parts. Under the special order parts, you can put in the name, part item, your selling price, your cost, markup, your supplier information, the part URL, shipping tracking number, and notes. One of the common things that I run across in the computer repair business is that you've ordered an item for something that hasn't come in. Customers call and they want to know when their part's going to be there, when their computer's going to be ready. You can have that tracking number right there available so that you can track the item, see when it's going to get there, and give them an accurate ETA of when their computer's going to be ready. The worst thing you could do is have a customer call on the phone and you're like, we ordered a part, I'm not sure exactly where it's at or when we're going to get it, but we'll let you know something when we figure it out. You don't want to be on the phone mumbling to your customer about when their computer is going to be ready. You want to have that information quickly and be able to get it to them and make sure they're happy with their experience.
That is one of the biggest points about having a management system. Like, you may wonder why you might need something like this if you're taking people in with pencil and paper and you have a similar layout like this. It's not as quickly searchable. It's not as easy to keep up with. Plus, you really can't get as many features as you can get out of this on pencil and paper. Things like that tracking number where you can just either copy and paste or click right on it to get to the information you need to further tell them about it. It really adds up and helps a lot, saving time over a while.
Yeah, pieces of paper get lost. It's a lot harder to keep track of it on paper.
I do have a question, because this is always something I look at from a database management point. What is it basing the system off of? Is it basing it off the system itself, or the customer, or the company, or?
The computers are tracked by an asset number.
And are those tied to a customer, and the customer has several? Or?
Yeah, they are tied to a customer, and can be transferred if that were needed. Okay. Then you also have work order numbers assigned to particular. You can assign a asset to a work order number, which is then in turn linked to the customer.
Okay, so it sounds like it's probably basing it mainly off the computer, and then
assigning it to a work order and a customer.
Yeah, you can add those on as groupings and tracking style stuff. So, and that's important. I mean, that computer is what you're mainly working with on this setup, so that's probably the best route to handle that.
Up on the top left-hand corner, there's a drop-down box called Repair, and some of the options you have in there for a new check-in or a return check-in. A return check-in option just allows you an easier way to enter in another work order for something that's come back in with possibly under warranty and needs to be rechecked. And having the ability to track that is extremely important, and will help you out in your workflow quite a bit. You got a checkout option, calendar option. You can get right into your assets and devices. What I want to do right now is to just check in something new. All right.
I feel it's important to note that autofill is based on your browser,
not browser. Yeah, not the system. Yeah, wasn't expecting that, to be honest.
Chrome has that tendency.
Yeah. All right, so I guess I'll check in my own computer here. So my work phone number. Here you can type in an asset, device, make, or model. What you might want to put in here, if it's a Dell computer, you might want to put in the asset, the service tag. You might want to put in the model number of the computer. It's up to you. Computer. Schedule job, no, I just brought it in. Dropped it off with the power cord. My mouse. Type in a password. Nope, that is not my password. Description of the problem. Power on.
That is Proctor's password. He's going to have to change it, though.
Actually, I think it's Michael's password.
That does seem fitting.
And one thing you might want just to keep in mind, a general note, the customer is gonna bring in a computer, and they're gonna probably tell you something that's not extremely technical as what the problem is. But when you're translating that for your work order, you might want to type it into something that's more specific for your technician than what the customer might tell you. They're gonna bring it in. It might be it's broke, fix it. You might want to translate it into something more intelligible for the tech.
Yeah, ask them a couple more questions. And one thing I would normally do when I check in a system would be write out what they said the problem was and what I probed them to end up feeling like the problem was. Like they may come in and say my
computer crashed.
Yeah, my computer crashed, and then I would ask them some additional questions like what was it doing right beforehand? Were there any messages or pop-ups, or have you noticed anything strange over the past couple of weeks about it before it's crashed? And just try to probe them for as much information as you can to kind of give you a good set to jump into trying to diagnose that problem when you actually get it on the bench.
We also have some check boxes as far as to general things that might need to be done. This computer here, we're going to do a virus rogue and cleaning. Customer source, how'd they find out about us? They stuck their flyer on my car at Walmart.
Can you read off some more of the options about what you're going to do there? It's kind of small to read, so.
Okay. Does that make it a little more readable?
Not much, but I mean, if you just read off some of it.
Okay, yeah, some of your canned check boxes for things that need to be done to the computer. You got virus rogue cleaning, tune-up, backup important data first. In my shop, the customer's data is considered one of the top priorities because that's normally what's the top priority is of the customer. And it's also a good way to make some extra income is to ask them if they'd like to have their data backed up just as a precaution. We're going to do that in this case. Reload the operating system, install new antivirus, install internal physical cleaning, blow the dust out, replace bad capacitors. Computer does not boot. Computer does not power on. Replace bad LCD screen. Internet doesn't work. Computer has noisy fan. Blue screen, upgrade memory.
That's really interesting that it has the replace bad capacitors.
Yeah, you wouldn't normally know that when the system was coming in.
Well, if it's a desktop, you can sometimes just pull it off. But my bigger thing was, do you find yourself often replacing capacitors versus replacing the board itself?
Not very often.
Yeah, like that was something like I would do on my system, but not normally something I would really recommend to a customer. Because if a capacitor's gone bad, there's sometimes other reason that's gone bad. So
right, there may be other capacitors that are not too far behind it.
Yeah.
Normally, the only reason I would replace capacitors on a board would be if it was difficult or hard, expensive to replace the motherboard.
Yeah, I might offer it as a second alternative. Like if they're like, no, I don't want to invest that much into this system, I'd be like, well, we do have another option that we can do this, but just make sure you understand it's not guaranteed. It's something that can give you some more life out of it, but it's really not the most recommended route, which is why we didn't offer that first.
We have some more additional contact information that we can add to the work order. I'm sorry, to the asset. And then below that, we could actually go into a description of the various different hardware components that are in the computer. If you're using D7.2, which you should be, this information can be inputted automatically into PC Repair Tracker, and that's something I'm going to go over in the next my next installment about PC Repair Tracker. That's another time-saving thing if you're using D72 and PC Repair Tracker.
So, but for the check-in purpose, you would go ahead and check it with that in blank, and then when you ran D72 on it, it would be able to import that.
Exactly, and this is something I wouldn't normally do at check-in anyway. Unless there was some reason to, I might notate how much RAM is in there. Might notate the condition. That's something. I've had systems come in that it looked like they've had a beating. You might want to note that so the customer knows when they pick it up, they're not going to complain, hey, this computer's all beat up, and it wasn't like that when it came in. You can put that right here.
Another important reason to take pictures.
Yeah.
That condition one also, I know you had mentioned before that you normally try to power on the system and try to confirm when you check in. Is that?
Oh yeah, definitely. At the check-in process, I would recommend that you power up the computer, load the operating system, and try to take a look at exactly what problem the customer's having. Many times I've had people bring in a computer and tell me that it's running slow, or it doesn't load Windows, or it doesn't go on the internet, and I plug it up, it either doesn't power on or it doesn't post. And I want the customer to see that the system was like that when they brought it in, and not find out later that there's more wrong with it than they thought.
And that's something that you could note in that condition box, because it's free text, so I mean you can kind of use these things to what suits your needs the best as well.
You can go ahead and assign this to a particular tech if you'd like to, or you can leave it unassigned, and then this just will go to the first available tech. If you pick a particular technician, you can choose to notify them via email or text message. I'm just going to leave it unassigned and click Check-in Asset.
I wonder how many people out there track their check-ins and things through text messaging. I see that option a lot in various different places, but I've never been in a place that uses text messaging in that manner.
Me either. After I've checked it in, PC Repair Tracker is going to create a repair claim ticket work order for the customer. Has all their contact information, your disclaimers, disclaimer about abandoned computers. This is all customizable, and you can put whatever text here you need to whatever best fits your business. You've got your business's name, address, logo, contact information, barcode with your work order number. You've got your asset tag number here and your work order number. At the bottom, you've got a signature line where your customer can sign, where you can have your customer sign that they accept your terms and conditions.
So did I see that you were able to do the signature on
Yeah,
the
they
screen?
would sign it with the screen, yeah.
So another nice feature of having a touch screen at check-in.
Yeah.
Sign right there.
And again, we could take photos of the computer. I'm not going to do that now since I'm in a Hangout. Print our work order. What I like about PC Repair Tracker is you're able to print asset labels. So you can print a label for the computer, print a label for also to put on the power cable that came in, and that's maybe not important for a desktop computer and use any old power cable, but if it were a laptop, you could put that asset label right on the power adapter, so you make sure you give the customer back the right adapter. I've seen lots of situations where the customer comes to pick up their laptop and nobody knows where the power adapter is, and you go on a 15-minute search for it.
And that asset label is not going to provide tracking, but you'd be able to at least know whose power adapter that was.
Right.
Like, it's not going to show you, hey, it's left over here in the corner of the store.
Yeah.
Can you actually click on that asset label thing? I'd like to see what it pulls up to print out for that and how that looks.
PC Repair Tracker is only compatible with Dymo label printers. I don't have one attached to this computer.
Okay, so it uses a label printer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, then that looks pretty much like a label would from a label printer.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, that's really nice that it does integrate with those, and I mean, that's the easiest way to print out an asset tag is you get basically a sticker you can just place right on it. So.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome feature.
What happens when you click on that deposit bit?
That was actually where I was going next.
Perfect.
You can take a deposit from the customer, and over the years I've changed my policy on this. I mean, I've had time periods where I wanted to collect a deposit when somebody dropped something off, and sometimes I haven't, and we could talk about the reasons to do that, but won't get into that now. We can take a deposit with cash check, credit cards, PayPal, custom payment methods. Let's go ahead and take one for cash here. Put $40 down. Amount tendered, $40. And then we'll just click next. And there's your receipt.
Sweet. I am kind of interested in your deposit thing, if you don't mind spending some time on that, because the shop that I worked at had basically our policy was you paid for it when you picked up, and that you were at least agreeing to a minimum bench fee.
Right.
So if we looked at it and didn't find anything, you were at least guaranteed to have to pay us this much. But normally the only reason we would take a deposit would be if they wanted to prepay some. Like we were able to, like if they were saying we wanted to upgrade our computer and replace the motherboard, RAM, and power supply, then we could go ahead and kind of quote them a price that we're looking at for the parts, and they could go ahead and put some down on it. But usually we didn't take any deposits. We just had it so that the terms in our disclaimer, or whatever that was called, was that if you didn't pick it up or you didn't pay us, we got the computer. So
yeah, that's pretty much how I've normally do it. Would charge a bench fee or diagnostic fee, but I would not take that up front. If we process the computer and diagnosed it, and the customer didn't want to fix it, we'd charge them the diagnostic or bench fee. The situation you might run into is if the client just never comes and picks it up because the computer isn't worth the diagnostic fee, basically, or the computer's not repairable, they don't want to fix it, then you're stuck with a computer that you may or may not have anything you can do with it. It's just trash.
yeah.
If you collect that money up front, then at least you got some cash, and you still have their computer if you can part it out or sell it or whatever you want to do with it if it's abandoned. But another reason maybe to take a deposit when something comes in is if you want to take a deposit if you're ordering a part, if you're special ordering a part for them, you might want to go ahead and take a deposit there.
That's a good point. We may have done certain cases like that where, like especially if they were ordering something of specialty nature that was fairly expensive, and we didn't want to be left with having to deal with the return and possible restocking fee and things of that nature.
Right. Yeah. You
What's
may want
that
to go ahead and
charge?
take enough money to at least cover your restock fee if you have to do that. Whether you send it back or not, is up to you. But at least you have some money there to cover your bases with. Um,
Now, basing this off the computer itself, have you looked into any of the options as far as managing like business clients and managed service contract style stuff, or is this more for a break fix it perspective?
Honestly, I don't remember, but I'll make a note and to cover that in the next segment.
Okay. Because from what you've shown me so far, it kind of looks just like a bench service or possible on-site style. The managed services and having large business contracts, it might be difficult to keep them together and grouped and things like that. But there's always a way.
I believe it does have that functionality, but I don't want to say right this second without confirming it.
Yeah, definitely. Did you have something else you wanted to go over with it?
Just real quick, it does have the option, or it does have the ability to track multiple stores if you have more than one store, and you can switch between those.
Oh, that's so. I mean, that may, if it doesn't have the feature, that could be a way to track what it is. And Zeke in our chat just said, at our shop, we always took deposits. How we would word it is, it was like a diagnostic fee. However, they would say our diagnostic bench fee is $50. We take that as a deposit when you drop off your computer. The fee is waived if you have your computer waived. Then, so they would take the deposit at the beginning as the diagnostic fee. So they would go ahead and collect that upfront diagnostic fee, and then if they ended up getting it fixed, they would apply that deposit towards the repair cost, which generally that's what we would do when we took in a system. We would say it's going to be this much no matter what, which is our diagnostic fee. If you end up getting it fixed, then that'll be waived and we'll fix it for the price of the repair. Like if it was a malware removal or power supply replacement, the labor and things like that would balance out waiving the diagnostic fee. Where some places, like if you take it to some of your name brand big stores, they'll charge you the diagnostic fee and then charge you the cost of different repairs and things, because they're just checking boxes off and going through their motions. So that is something nicer about smaller shops, is usually they want to take care of the customer versus just being another number in the system.
Yeah, and that's basically the way I've done it in the past too, is to charge a diagnostic fee, but if you decide to get it fixed, that diagnostic fee gets applied to your bill.
Yeah, and I do like Proctor's point about if you know the system is probably not going to be worth it, then it probably would be best to get a deposit up front. And if you ever have had customers that have had trouble with paying in a timely fashion, you may also want to take deposits up front in those cases. But really, it's probably best to have a uniform.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's probably best to treat everybody the same.
Yeah. And having that uniform policy, it's better for you. Most people don't have an issue with it, especially if you're waiving it if they decide to get it fixed and things like that.
Yeah. One of the reasons maybe not to charge a fee up front is that you just have to tender the money twice, which may be a little more complicated, but the way this software tracks it takes the complication out of it. Zeke points out that that the PC Repair Tracker is a good value. It has a great price. I believe it's only $200. It's a one-time fee. That
is an awesome price.
That's nothing. That's cheap.
And he also really loves the asset tracking and the photos and things of that nature. So that's awesome. Thanks, Zeke. We value your input as well.
Yeah, thank you. Always love to get feedback in the chat about what's going on.
And if anyone else is out there watching on Google Plus or YouTube, you can join us at foolishit.com/live or foolishtechshow.com and join our IRC chat and talk with us live here, like Zeke is doing. Proctor, too, if you are looking for something else to go over there, I wouldn't mind seeing some of the back-end settings options, like any branding options or setting up those technicians and the kind of back-end setup side of it would be interesting to look at.
All right, haven't really drilled down into that yet, but let's go take a look at it.
Just an overview wouldn't be bad. We can drill into it more on the next show.
Yeah, you can worry about that later, Proctor. Just do the show, I guess.
That is the show.
Oh, is it done?
No. What he's going over is the show.
Well, I was talking to a text a message I just wrote in the window.
Yeah, you'll be the first to know.
Cool. So it has a technical document, kind of like a help desk forum or knowledge base. Looks like.
Oh, it's under tools and documents. Looks like it's a spot where you could actually attach
various repair manuals
manuals and things like that. Thanks, Brantley.
That modem manual that Nick had stored on his computer.
Yeah, this would be a great place to put that. And also quick links to various different manufacturers, support and warranty pages. Having quick access to that could definitely be a benefit. Brantley, I think I'm going to get into that setup that you were asking about in the next segment.
Okay.
Something I want to point out to you is if you want to demo a PC Repair Tracker, send Luke an email. He's going to send you a bunch of different links to his training videos, as well as the link and credentials so that you can log into the demo yourself and give it a test drive. PC Repair Tracker has an interface. It's a web-based interface. There's also a mobile version so that you can use PC Repair Tracker on your mobile devices, your phones, and your tablets. It has a more streamlined interface for your mobile devices.
That's cool that it does have a mobile interface as well.
Zeke, have you used the mobile interface?
Yeah, there will be a short delay for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Zeke, if you have any other things that you'd like to throw out there about the software and if you use it.
Some of the other things to note, it has a built-in point of sale, the ability to track sales tax. It's a web-based interface. You have printable claim tickets, printable invoices, checkout receipts, sales receipts, repair reports, and D72 can integrate right into those repair reports and send your reports from D72 right into the repair report in PC Repair Tracker, and we're going to go over that in one of the next installments on PC Repair Tracker. You have the ability to email invoices, repair reports, and receipts. It has support for receipt printers.
Awful.
Okay. It does have optional support for touchscreen interfaces. We've already gone over the asset tags and the integrated asset pictures. Has support for credit card processing using Authorize.net, Sage Payments, BluePay, Stripe Payments, My Virtual Merchant, and PayPal Payments Pro plugins. Does have multiple store support, the ability to attach files to your work orders or assets, job timers. It does support block of time contracts, Brantley.
Awesome.
Recurring invoices, and again, has support for SMS support for text messaging. You can email service reminders to your customers. That'd be a great way. That's a great way to get repeat business, is to send out reminders when maybe a computer needs to tune up or something like that. And you saw earlier you can electronically sign the documents with integrated virtual signature pad or Topaz signature pad. We've got the D7 reports integration, employee time clock, and the mobile interface.
That does sound like a ton of great features for that price, especially. So.
Yeah, it's at a super great, price point with a ton of features.
Very, very nice.
Do we have any questions?
Well, I think for right now, that's probably a good overview and start off. And for the next segment, that'll be awesome to get into some more details about how D72 can integrate with it and provide some additional ease of use, and possibly looking into some more of the back-end settings and setting up the block services and managed solutions and such, because in at least our shop that we worked in, that was a big factor, having those managed services, because you can't always rely on having a constant stream of break-fix products coming in. The managed services and having some bigger business clients under you gives you kind of more of that recurring revenue that you're able to depend on a monthly basis and expand your business off of. So.
Yeah, the PC repair business has a lot of fluctuation in volume, so yeah, having that recurring income is a big deal.
Yeah, like normally you would probably see it drop off during the summertime, see a big pickup when school starts, and then kind of up and down during the school year and based off upcoming holidays and things like that, I think. Usually the beginning of the year was kind of the slow period for all the places that I've worked at least.
And one thing to point, PC Repair Tracker does support cash drawers as long as you're using a receipt printer. It also has support for barcode scanners. And it can import and export to QuickBooks. And to wrap it up, PC Repair Tracker currently is at version 1.4. Luke will soon be releasing version 2.0 of PC Repair Tracker. We do have a copy of it, and in one of our upcoming segments, we will be going over the new version.
Awesome. I wouldn't mind seeing the actual setup process for it if you wanted to do a segment on that too.
Oh yeah, this is probably going to be a 3-segment, more if needed, process. And in one of those segments, I'm definitely going to go through the install.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, it definitely does look like some good management software. We've heard from Zeke saying that he uses it and loves it and enjoys it a lot, and it does seem like there's a lot of features and more in depth that we can get into it. So looking forward to seeing more of the segments here. Also for tomorrow, if you didn't catch at the beginning there, we're going to be doing a show on kind of a 2-part bit. We're going to go over putting DDWRT on a Linksys 54G WRT, and then also do some price comparisons and purchasing guidance on looking at new wireless routers and options and things you should look for and price points and various things of that nature. So,
keep in mind, Brantley, for that segment tomorrow, are you doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really doing
there are some routers that you can purchase off the shelf that already have DDWRT installed on them.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's, I'm sure, going to be part of the discussion. But as far as the underlying AC-based technologies, I have a whole ton of knowledge on that. So if anybody needs a backup with that, let me know.
We've got someone in the chat asking about the time of the show.
Yeah, guest on Thursdays, it's at 4 p.m. Here, I'll post the schedule in our IRC here for you. So we do have kind of a staggered schedule, and it can be something to get used to, but it's made so that everyone can have a chance to join in, and we have people around the world, so we have to have kind of a varied schedule there.
Just trying to make sure everybody gets to participate and see our shows live. You can always go back and watch them on YouTube, but it was always great to get people involved in the show while we're live.
And we'll go ahead and mention it off here on the air, is that we have Monday at 8 a.m. Whoa, that was really bad pasting. A little bit better here.
Yeah, our shows on Monday. Our show is at 8 a.m. for approximately an hour. On Tuesdays, it's at 10 a.m. Wednesdays, 2 p.m. Today, Thursday, the show is at 4 p.m. and Fridays tune in at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Times. Much better.
There we go. Yeah, so it's staggered so people can have different times to do it. Plus, we do end up posting them on our YouTube channel as well as on the FoolishTechShow.com. You can look at previous episodes there, and normally we get them up onto the channel after either same day or next day. So yeah, that's for there, and tomorrow will be the 6 p.m. one, so guest, if you want to join us on that day, we'll be here for then. Looks like they're a left out of the chat, but we'll be here for that one. And like I said, we'll be going over DDWRT on a Linksys 54 GWRT, and also some pricing guide on whatchamacallit?
On those things?
Wireless routers. There
yeah.
we go. Sorry, I lost my window here and got distracted by that. So, all right, so that will be it for today, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks everyone for watching today, and join us tomorrow or check out our past shows, and always feel free to join into our chat. Someone may be hanging out in there and we'll be able to answer questions, or if you have topic ideas you'd like us to cover, we're always more than interested in seeing those and getting that information out for everyone. So thanks, and see you later, Internet.